Welcome to Mobile Museum of Art. My name is Caitlin Aminar. I'm the curator of art education.
I'm Bronco Sloan. I'm the coordinator of art education here at the Mobile Museum of Art.
Today we're going to explore a very special painting called Without Stopping by Juan Logan. Come on in. Without stopping. It tells an important story about people, places, and memories. The artist, Juan Logan, wants us to think about how stories stay with us even after a long time. Who here has a favorite memory? Maybe from a birthday, or a holiday, or playing outside. A memory is like a special picture or a little movie we play in our mind of something that happened in the past. It's how our brain holds on to important moments. Do you think our memories are exactly the same every time we remember them? Sometimes the tiny details might fade or change a little bit, like when you remember every single crumb on your birthday cake. Memories help us remember who we are, where we came from, and the special people in our lives that help us learn and grow. The artist who made Without Stopping, Juan Logan, is really interested in memories too. He thought about how our memories can be like a puzzle, where some pieces are super clear and some are a little fuzzy. In his painting, Without Stopping, he uses colors and shapes to show his memories and the memories of the people of Africatown. He doesn't draw everything perfectly so like the photo, but he uses symbols. Symbols are those secret codes that tell us big ideas or feelings about their history. Africatown is a community in Mobile, Alabama, founded by enslaved Africans who were brought to the United States illegally on the last slave ship known as the Catilda in 1860. Juan Logan created Without Stopping after researching the people and history of Africatown, and he uses unique symbols and colors to celebrate their strength and accomplishments. Let's dive deeper into Without Stopping by Juan Logan. I have with me our coordinator of education, Bronco Sloan. Hi, Bronco.
Caitlin, how are you?
Good. I want to ask you, what are some things that stand out to you about Juan Logan's Without Stopping?
There is so much going on in this painting. I think probably the first thing that jumps out to me is the giant head that's right next to you. I like the shape of it and the amount of room that it takes up. I also noticed that Juan Logan has used the same head over and over in different sizes. There's a smaller one here and here, and they're kind of all over the painting in different sizes and used to make different patterns also. What do you notice, Caitlin?
Some things that stand out to me, again, we see this head shape and it's very large and we trickle into smaller ones. But to contrast this nice curvy head shape, we have all of these really straight geometrical lines and shapes in here. And what's interesting to me about that is because Juan Logan used the map of Africatown as the guide for this shape. And we also notice, maybe you'll notice too, inside of this larger shape, we have smaller shapes that have this head pattern. We have different stripes and patterns here. You might notice some diamonds, some circles in that head shape. These are all fabric pieces that are from a photo that Juan Logan looked as a reference of the people of Africatown. And so all of these patterns are reminiscent of the fabric on their clothing, which some of the robes can be seen at Africatown Heritage House as well, where Juan Logan studied to research this project. So these fabric patterns and designs are inspired by those clothes that Africatown Heritage people were wearing. Bronco, what else do you notice besides the head shapes that creates patterns? What else do we see there?
If we keep talking about the heads for just a moment, I like that Juan Logan has added the head in different places to represent different things. We're talking a lot about symbolism and how artists can use these different shapes, colors, and other elements of art as something that's personally meaningful to them. And it might be something that we don't necessarily understand ourselves when we look at the work, but it's sort of a language that the artist can use for themselves. We see that he's used the same head, very large, and then there's some smaller ones here that have like a little stick on there, like a fan that you might have seen somebody use at church. We've got lots of little bitty heads that are kind of spread out throughout this large blue area, and it kind of feels like maybe they're individuals that are keeping the memories going from Africa Town, and they're changing the space that's around them. We have these that are packed in very tightly and very ordered, and then we've got some that are kind of chaotic, and like you mentioned, he even used the head to create these almost floral patterns like we'd see on some various clothing.
Another thing that I kind of get pulled into too, when we're talking about memory and artists who are using color and shape to symbolize our memories, and in thinking about how Juan Logan talks about memory being like a puzzle. Sometimes it's kind of blurry and it fades, and sometimes it's very sharp and you can really recognize that. And he shows us that through his very hard-edged stencil work here, where it's very sharp. And then we have a change here where it's very soft and it's very mixed and blended, like perhaps the memory is lost or it's getting faded. Another thing that I notice is this curvy shape here, which kind of reminds us of water, of the ocean, and this space between land masses, potentially. If we follow this down, we follow it through, we have this curvy shape that kind of reminds us of ripples of water, and it's moving out, and we're talking about this growth. So how one person, one culture body of people can come to a place, and those memories, those stories are shared and sown like seeds, and they spread, which I think is very interesting in talking about sharing your story and sharing your memory. Even if that memory changes sometimes, if it's blurry, you still tell that story. Do you have anything else that you'd like to talk about with this artwork?
I do. I think I like the fact that you mentioned the colors earlier. These are some of the similar colors that he's used in a lot of his different paintings throughout the series of Elegy. So to me, when I see an artist that reuses colors like that, I think that they're using them as personally important colors. They are a symbol themselves. So the blue color is sort of like the ocean, as you mentioned, between the different land masses, but I start to wonder what these purples might mean to Juan Logan, or this red that we see in a lot of his works. I wonder what that might symbolize to him, but I also wonder what you get from it as an audience member. What would these different colors mean to you?
If you're going to tell your own story based on your memory, is there a memory you can think of and you think of a color or a place or a time and space? What symbol or shape might that look like? What colors would you have around you? I think Juan Logan inspires us in that way. So join us at Mobile Museum of Art to see more of Juan Logan's Without Stop.